The sky before sunrise often mirrors your own heart. Borderless grey drifting between stillness and storm. You wake sensing questions below the surface. Will the waves of surprise pull you under? Yet in this fragile hush, dawn itself invites you to discover the anchor who never slips, the courage that steadies trembling hands, the direction wiser than any compass, the strength that lifts what feels impossible, the first blush of hope along the horizon, and the quiet hum of grateful praise ready to ride each moment. Here, you meet the one whose presence turns every unknown into holy ground. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. And Nahum 1:7. This ancient promise assures you that refuge is not an idea, but a person who knows your name. Will you entrust the tight knot of today's deadlines, or the hidden H you rarely voice, into his open hands? Now, as your heart grows still, we step into. You can almost hear the hush of early breakers brushing the shore, a subtle hymn that reminds you how easily life's tide shifts from calm to chaos. Yet beneath every surge, a deeper bedrock remains unmoved. And that foundation is waiting for you this morning. You feel the familiar tug of uncertainties. Meetings without clear outcomes. Family conversations charged with unspoken tension. Headlines that churn old anxieties. But notice how each thought floats when you let it drift toward Jesus, the steadfast ground beneath. Like a ship lowering its weighty stock to grip the ocean floor, you lower your soul on his faithfulness and feel resistance become rest. The scriptures whisper, we have this hope as an anchor for the soul, firm and secure. Hebrews 6:1. Hope is not wishful impulse. It is a forged link to the unchanging character of Christ, moored beyond the storm's reach. Picture the anchor itself, wrought iron shaped by fire, hammered into purpose, designed to disappear beneath sight so the vessel above can ride storms without dread. In the same way, his unseen grace counters every unseen current. You need not monitor the swirl of circumstance, you simply stay tethered. When sudden winds of criticism gust through your workplace, you remember this chain. When an unexpected bill rattles your finances, you trace its unbroken length. When doubts about your worth swirl like whirlpools, you feel the quiet yank reminding you that your identity rests deeper than emotions. Now breathe in the salted air of dawn and name the waves you fear. Speak them under your breath. Missed opportunities, fragile health, unpredictable markets. With each confession, imagine the anchor sinking farther until it thuds against bedrock. Feel the line tighten, loosening your chest. You are no longer drifting, you are held. That security frees you to lift your eyes from the horizon's threats to the horizon's promise, daylight blooming gold. Your voice, once tense, begins to soften. Jesus, thank you that my location is not the storm, but your embrace. Let every pulse of panic become a pulse of worship. Let the deck of this day rock yet never capsize. Even as gulls announce the sun's ascent, you sense a sturdiness beneath your steps. You are poised to move, but anchored first. The unpredictable may still arrive, yet it will not define you. Definition now rises from the deep confidence that Christ has already claimed. Hold this assurance a moment longer. Notice how stillness is not stagnation but preparation. Rope coiled, sails ready, heart settled. In quiet expectation you stand upon the deck of morning anchored below, open above, ready to sail forward unafraid. Howard Count 560 awaiting Siotia in E. Bin en mo wani I sotia in E. Che G PT 1 in Bisay section 2 I quiet. Courage the anchor holds. Yet sunrise soon asks you to lift the sails and face whatever the horizon conceals. Courage in this dawning hour is not a roar but a breath, quiet, measured, confident that the same hand gripping the deep also steadies the wind above. You step onto the still, shadowed deck and meet the chill of morning air. Each inhalation ushers in resolve. Each exhalation releases restless dread. Listen, leaves tremble in a gentle breeze, not from fear, but from the thrill of movement. Your heart can mirror that trembling, alive, responsive, unbroken. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. 2 Joshua 1:9. This ancient commission is not a command to muster bravado. It is an invitation to lean on presence. Courage arises because he accompanies every step, turning lonely paths into shared journeys. You recall moments when your voice quivered in a meeting or when you hesitated before a difficult phone call. Today, courage may look like speaking truth gently, admitting limits, or choosing patience when deadlines tighten. It may look like acknowledging grief you tucked away months ago. The world often defines bravery as conquest. Yet in God's economy, bravery is surrender, yielding impulsive defense so you can receive divine direction. Picture a small heron poised at the water's edge, not frantic, yet alert, trusting the rhythm of ripples to reveal provision. You too can stand poised, ready to act when wisdom prompts, not when panic insists. Notice how silence is not empty, but infused with promise. You hear distant sparrows practicing their first songs, understated notes that nonetheless declare territory and belonging. Your own whisper can echo theirs. Jesus, inhabit each heartbeat. Tune my reactions to your cadence. Feel nerves steady as gratitude seeps into your bloodstream, gratitude for oxygen, for the modest cup warming your hands, for the memory of nights he carried you through confusion. Gratitude is courage's secret route, nourishing fortitude before a single challenge appears. Imagine the day ahead as a series of thresholds, office doors, classroom gates, traffic lights, hospital hallways, kitchen counters. At each threshold you will choose to shrink or shine. Yet shrinking is no longer necessary. Light already fills you, and light longs to spill through you. Even if questions arise faster than answers, remember that uncertainty can be holy ground, soft soil where faith takes deeper root. You need not foresee the entire path. You simply place your foot where his lamp glows next. Should criticism sting or expectations pile high, pause and feel the unseen shield encircling your thoughts. Speak softly into that moment. Courage, stay with me. Then proceed. Do so without haste, because quiet confidence outlasts frantic momentum. Waves may rise mid-morning, deadlines may collide by noon. But courage does not evaporate. It replenishes every time you re-anchor attention to Emmanuel, God with you. Now hold your mug, let steam brush your face, and pledge to walk this day upright, shoulders relaxed, eyes bright. The shoreline behind and the open sea ahead both belong to the same King. Therefore, every heartbeat between them is safe. When the first task demands more strength than you expected, remember this breeze, this stillness, this quiet courage that has already entered your lungs. Step forward. You are ready. You stand at the shoreline of possibility, hand resting on the wheel of the day, while unseen currents tug beneath the surface. Meetings rise like uncharted islands. Choices branch like estuary creeks, and every voice, alerts, messages, headlines, claims to be a lighthouse. Yet only one beam proves true. Before you set sail, you grow still enough to notice a single shaft of morning light, tracing a safe channel through the haze. Its radiance persuades you to wait until the navigator speaks. I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you. Psalm 32:8. Guidance here is intimate, not mechanical. The gaze that spanned galaxies now settles on your itinerary, shaping each fork in the road into sacred possibility. Watch how dawn arranges its palette patiently. Ash blue, then rose gold, then full white. Nothing hurries, yet nothing lags. In the same cadence, you allow yesterday's momentum to fall away and invite divine pacing. You picture a compass resting against your heartbeat. Instead of magnet and steel, its needle responds to grace. Each surrendered worry nudges that needle closer to true north. You whisper, "Speak, and I will adjust," and the whisper itself becomes a turning. Soon subtle promptings surface. Respond kindly to that curt email. Postpone a trivial errand. Concentrate on the assignment that serves others most. Clarity arrives like spring rain on thirsty soil, quiet yet unmistakable. Because direction is relationship, not algorithm. You remain flexible for mid-course corrections. If traffic jams, perhaps the delay shields you from unseen harm. If plans collapse, maybe a wider door swings open. You weigh interruptions not as sabotage, but as potential steering. Picture migratory cranes carving flawless chevrons across the sky. They ride thermal updrafts invisible to human eyes yet instinctively clear to them. You too carry a quiet instinct, spirit communion, that senses subtle breezes of timing. Trust those signals. When conviction urges pause, pause. When an inner nudge says act, act. Doubt insists on polling opinions and mapping contingencies. Faith invites obedience to the next small light and discovers provision waiting beyond sight. Direction also whispers through community. A colleague's gentle question may reveal a blind spot. A child's laughter may remind you to prune cluttered priorities. An elder's story may affirm a risk you hesitate to embrace. Listen for converging echoes. When separate confirmations align with scripture and inner peace, confidence blooms. Where dissonance persists, delay, harmony is a trustworthy compass rose. Pause now and visualize today's calendar as an open sea chart. One by one. Lay each appointment before Christ, the negotiation at 10, the doctor's call at 2, the family supper at dusk. Ask, which harbor first? And feel currents shifting. Perhaps he instructs you to lace words with unusual gentleness or guard afternoon margins so compassion can breathe. Note the impression, then release the weight. A sailor trusts the map once drawn. Resolve to walk the ribbon of light stretching over the water. Direction will endure even when clouds pile high. The same voice that guides at dawn will whisper at noon and rest beside you at night. Your feet may not know every mile, but they know the next. Lift them and follow. You feel noon drawing nearer, and the day grows heavier. Projects demanding perfection, relationships rubbing raw, headlines echoing unrest. Yet deep inside, A silent spring swells with resilience that circumstances cannot siphon. Picture an ancient oak rooted by a cliff, storms hurl salt spray. Suns crack bark, frost stiffens limbs, yet its core holds. You share that hidden core because Christ fortifies you from within, weaving sinew of grace through every fiber of will. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 4:1-10. These words are more than comfort. They are a legal guarantee stamped by heaven's authority, pledging that divine steadiness will underwrite each strain you shoulder today. Strength. In his design, rises quietly. It blooms when you choose patience rather than rant, clarity rather than confusion, generosity rather than guardedness. Each decision for mercy exercises spiritual muscle, the way repeated waves sculpt solid rock. Notice how small acts accumulate. You pause for deep breaths before a tense report. You respond softly to sarcasm. You turn a restless evening into a walk beneath widening skies. These seemingly minor choices braid into unbreakable rope. Identify the weight currently pressing hardest, maybe chronic pain, financial uncertainty, or relentless deadlines, and envision hands mightier than oceans cupping that burden. You are not commanded to bear it unaided. Instead, you lean back, letting omnipotent arms absorb the shock. Strength does not demand invulnerability, it invites partnership. Even the strongest mast bends with wind, yet the keel keeps balance. You, too, can bend without breaking when the keel of divine presence centers your soul. Consider nature's quiet athletes, salmon ascending waterfalls, migrating monarchs defying thousands of miles, desert seeds lying dormant until rare rain wakes them to bloom. None succeed by brute force alone. Each thrives through alignment with rhythms their creator encoded. Likewise, your endurance thrives by synchronous rhythm. Sabbath pauses, honest lament, laughter that releases stored tension, prayer that ventilates hidden rooms. Weaving these rhythms into your schedule turns endurance from slog into song. Throughout the afternoon, you may hear whispers of inadequacy. Too slow, too weak, too late. Counter them aloud. I am carried. The confession realigns posture, draws shoulders back, lifts gaze above shrinking screens to expansive heaven. From that vantage, obstacles shrink, options widen. Where you once saw impossibility, you now discern possibility disguised as challenge, invitation masquerading as workload. Should unexpected confrontation erupt, ground feet, steady breath, feel pulse sync with eternal cadence. Words formed in love remain unshaken. Tones tempered by humility disarm aggression. Strength cloaked in gentleness confounds the harsh, because it draws from wells anger cannot reach. You may exit the encounter physically tired, yet spiritually taller. Proof that power perfected in weakness is no slogan but living reality. As dusk hints on the fringe of sky, reflect on all that tested you today. Some tasks resolved, others linger, yet none toppled you. Gratitude flickers for every unseen angel guarding traffic lanes, every timely insight averting error, every song lyric that resurfaced hope. Offer thanks and feel new vigor surge like evening tide. Strength, after all, is renewable when sourced in the infinite. Now inhale the mellow hush settling across rooftops. Exhale any leftover tension. You remain the oak, wind bent yet unbroken. Roots sunk deeper with each gust. Tomorrow may bring fresh squalls, but tonight you stand taller, muscle and marrow infused with celestial might. Rest in that certainty as stars prepare their quiet vigil. Evening finally breathes lavender across the sky, and you feel the hush after exertion settle over streets and screens alike. Deadlines have lifted, yet loose ends remain. Conversations are paused, not finished. The horizon, earlier fractured by glare, now glows with gentle embers, revealing lines where disappointment cracked ambition. Into those fissures, hope returns like quiet rain filling dry furrows. You stand on your balcony, or perhaps only in memory of open fields, and watch colors deepen peach, rose, violet. Each hue testifies that endings can birth beginnings, that even a day frayed by setbacks can weave threads of marvel before night folds in. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. So Romans 15:3, hope is not cautious optimism, it is flooding abundance, rising from the source who specializes in resurrecting what seems spent. Recall midday moments when zeal drained, the project revised for the third time, the text unanswered, the H in your back mocking progress. Those instances felt like thin ice. Each crack signaled potential plunge, yet here you stand, dry, breathing, receptive, because invisible hands steadied each fracture. Hope, then, is evidence discovered afterward, a colleague's unexpected assistance, a memory that sparked laughter during tension, a subtle nudge guiding you away from error. Catalogue these mercies now, let them glimmer like fireflies across the mind's meadow. The more you name, the brighter the field. Observe how twilight birds rehearse bedtime chorales. Their notes arc skyward, seemingly fragile, yet they compose resilient symphonies. Your own voice can join their chorus, soft, perhaps trembling, but earnest. Jesus. Breathe new color over the dull places. Restore wonder where tasks numbed vision. As you pray, corners of perception once grey begin to tint with anticipation. Tomorrow's unknown morphs from threat into canvas. Even lingering problems feel lighter, as though hope itself has taken partial load. Consider the miracle of cracked, desert crust after rainfall. Once, desiccated ground sprouts tiny shoots in mere hours. Earlier fissures actually channel moisture deeper, accelerating growth. Your heartbreaks can function likewise, funneling grace beyond superficial layers to dormant seeds of compassion, courage, creativity. Tonight, open those channels. Instead of sealing scars with distraction, expose them to moonlight and expectancy. You may find that what hurt now houses future harvest. Hope also flourishes in shared stories. Perhaps you recall a mentor who overcame staggering hurdles, or a neighbor who chose kindness amid loss. Remembering their journeys reframes your own. If light reached them, light can reach you. Tomorrow, you may become someone else's proof. Your perseverance forming constellation, markers for weary travelers. With that possibility stirring, you lift your gaze to the first star piercing dusk, bright enough to guide sailors, yet gentle enough to soothe children. Such is the character of living hope, directional and tender. Now let silence linger like dew on unseen petals. Feel lungs expand with crisp nocturnal air. Release a sigh heavy with fatigue, but laced with gratitude. Whisper, I receive restored hope, and sense it pooling in every chamber of thought. What began as a plea becomes a pledge. To walk into the next dawn expecting goodness, to interpret setbacks as setups for grace, to believe that the artist who painted tonight's sky is simultaneously sketching tomorrow's mercies. Rest here, watching darkness clothe the world without erasing color, only deepening it. Stars multiply, night insects trill, and your heart answers with quiet confidence. No fracture beyond repair, no detour beyond redemption. Hope is not merely returned, it is renewed, expanded, strengthened like gold refined in fire. Carry its glow inward, letting it illuminate corridors of memory and projection alike. Sleep will soon approach, but not as escape, it arrives as sacred intermission before new chapters dawn bright. Dawn's earliest glow promised anchor, courage, guidance, strength, and hope. Now night's velvet hush invites you to echo every promise in unbroken thanksgiving. Praise spreads like lanterns across a shoreline, steady flames marking safe passage for anyone scanning the dark. You place the first lamp within your heart. Thank you for breath. Then set another on your lips. Thank you for words that built instead of bruised. Soon a winding ribbon of light traces the hours you just lived, revealing pockets of beauty. You might have missed the colleague's unexpected smile, the traffic pause that granted a rainbow glimpse, the flavor of simple bread shared without hurry. Each memory glows because gratitude turns ordinary moments into stained, glass windows catching moonshine. Notice how praise alters posture. Shoulders loosen, jaw unclasps, vision widens beyond today's perimeter to a vast horizon of mercy already moving toward tomorrow. You do not flatter God, you align with reality. Creation itself hums a continuous hymn. Crickets pluck strings in tall grass. Rivers drum against worn stone, stars pulse silent chords. And your voice now joins that cosmic orchestra. Even muscles fatigued by labor contribute resonance. Sighs become minor keys, enhancing the symphony's depth. You realize celebration requires no grand stage, only attentive awareness, the cool sheet brushing your skin, the ticking clock proclaiming life's rhythm, the scent of rain promised for pre-dawn gardens. Praise also heals perception of unfinished matters. Deadlines rolled forward, relationships awaiting repair, decisions deferred, all settle under a canopy of trust when wrapped in blessing. You whisper thanks in advance for wisdom arriving with next sunrise. By doing so, you seed tomorrow's soil with faith, ensuring sprouts of confidence before questions even bloom. Gratitude thus becomes strategic. It secures mental ground against future worry. Where complaint would erode, appreciation fortifies, layering protective joy across neural pathways. Let your mind stroll backward through the hours and label each segment with a benediction morning preparations. Covered midday trials, held evening tasks, completed or carried by grace. Then look outward to the wider world, nations wrestling turmoil, neighbors nursing grief, strangers braving hospitals. Offer silent tribute that the same sustainer available to you longs to anchor them. Your prayer of appreciation transforms into intercession, rippling outward like rings on a moonlit pond. Praise, therefore, is never passive. It multiplies peace by distributing recognition of God's active care. As you prepare to rest, you trace the lantern trail one more time, seeing how its light encircles your bed, doors, neighborhood, even digital spaces you inhabit. Fear finds no shadows to hide because thanksgiving fills every gap. Should eyes flutter awake during the night, the glow will still be there, reminding you that worship is not confined to tempo or sanctuary. It is the atmosphere of trusting hearts. You settle beneath covers and feel heartbeat slow to a cadence that echoes earlier waves against morning sand, constant and calm. Finally, breathe ye deep and murmur a closing refrain, from first spark of dawn to last whisper of dusk. You remained. Let that sentence float through consciousness until it anchors in sleep. Lamp after lamp will keep watch. And when birds summon daylight, praise will already be stirring, ready to guide your next steps with songs of steadiness. Before you rise, picture tiny threads of light still weaving from last night's lanterns into the fabric of this fresh day. Feel their warmth at your fingertips, their shimmer in your thoughts. Invite God to stitch new gratitude into every action, the brush of water on your face, the smile you offer first, the choice to listen before speaking. Let praise become the quiet engine, propelling you through errands and encounters, a steady current beneath all dialogue. Carry this luminescence outward, illuminating paths for others until night gathers once more.